Mr. DJ Rose, Verteezy, and C's. Welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap your seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell our land. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.
Yo, No More Black Tears Radio, No More Black Tears podcast. We back for another week. Season C's, Verteezy, man. How y'all boys doing?
What's good, people? Yeah, man, it's good to be back, man, for another episode.
Yeah, it all happened in the week.
So this week in sports. So we had college football. What was a game that caught your eye last week? And was there a player that, you was fascinated with, C's?
Disappointed from last night. That shit was very, 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 very disappointing. It just goes to show you can't just build a team in the season. You can, but it's hard to do. As far as, like I said, the quarterback from Michigan, man, has put up some pretty good numbers. I think he's going to do pretty well this season. Miami, definitely a surprising game. LSU, Clemson. I want to say the games I expected to be higher scoring turned out to be the opposite. So, like, 10-7.
Any particular game? Because I know there was some game.
Texas.
Yeah, I think everybody expected them to score more. Like, to me, I was very impressed with Ohio State's defense. Like, we talked about how many people they lost to the draft. And I think the thing, and C said this, Rose said this about college football, I think, last year or earlier this year. The big schools are going to separate themselves with the amount of money they have because of NIL, and we forget that Ohio State is one of the most storied franchises in college football history, and the alums they have so much money, they're never going to not have talent. So for them to have Patricia, which I forgot he was even a defensive coordinator for them until they kept saying it during the game, and I was like, yo, and the way they had Arch Manning confused, because he looked pretty average that game, even though it was his first, I think, college start on the road. But that just showed you how much talent was on that team and how good Ohio State could potentially be this year. Because I didn't really have high expectations for them because of the talent they lost. But, they look like they can probably run it back, man. And then, I also, shout out to Carson Beck, man. He looked like he did a couple years ago with Georgia against Notre Dame, man. He was making some throws. He seemed poised. We'll see how he looks the entire season. But I had said the week before, he needed to have this season. So he needs, the way he played against Notre Dame, he needs to play like that the rest of the year if he wants to secure himself a pick in the first round, but more importantly, a top 10 pick, because he could potentially be, if not the first quarterback taken, definitely that second quarterback taken, but he has to play the way he played this week. He has to play like that consistently through the whole season. Because Notre Dame, that's a very good test for him. There's going to be other schools on Miami's schedule. I'm pretty sure they're going to face a team like Clemson. So, like, they'll have opportunities to face other, ranked schools and schools with great NFL prospects.
Yeah, so I saw a couple of games. The Miami game with Notre Dame, that was a good game. The LSU Clemson game was it was kind of all right, I guess. It was kind of boring, but it was all right. I guess it lived up to the hype, but I think the only person that I saw that stuck out to me was Gunnar Stockton. He didn't even play the whole game. He had 4 touchdowns. So I'm pretty sure he's leading the country in touchdowns probably. So right now he's probably on the highest been watched right now. He just got to keep it, even though they played Marshall, but they did what they were supposed to do. So if he could play that for the rest of the year, Georgia might be a problem this year.
Yeah, definitely, man. If he plays elite, man, that's gonna be good for Georgia, man. So as far as this week coming up, we don't have the slate of games that we had last week. So that's not going to be like the number 10 team facing the number 17 like it was last week. But I will say this. I'm looking forward to this game because I saw clips of the game last week this player had. South Carolina versus South Carolina State. Like Sellers, he had made a throw last week that was like a 64-yard touchdown that I thought was really good. And to me, him facing South Carolina State, that's an opportunity for him to show his athleticism as well as show his throwing ability. This is one of those games that a player like him needs to use to pad his stats and to use it to get ready for the other teams he's going to face, especially those bigger boys in the SEC. So, depending on how he looks this game, that's going to tell me a lot about South Carolina's season. Because if he looks terrible, I didn't say he looked terrible last week. He just wasn't as effective as people wanted him to be. If he's kind of plays like that against this kind of caliber of opponent, that he's probably not going to have the year people think he's going to have. In South Carolina, they're not going to be the team we think. So he needs to come out there and kind of like what you said about Stockton, he needs to play similar to that because when you're facing an opponent that's inferior, you got to show that you're superior.
And I'll say this, another game, it's only like two good actual games that might get watched. Oregon and OSU, Oklahoma State. Looking at the stats, man, D. Moore, 213 yards, 18 for 23, 3 touchdowns last game. Oklahoma State's one of them schools that usually falls in that 15 to 25 spot, so it's one of those games like they can't really slack on this. Just to keep that number 6, they're gonna have to do something.
Yeah, I think the only game that I'm interested or thinking about is probably Southern California USC against Georgia Southern. That's probably the only one I'm probably interested in watching this week.
So we talked about how Ohio State looked good. A player that is very familiar with Ohio State is Micah Parsons from out of Penn State. He was with the Cowboys. He got traded for 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark from Green Bay. He's now going to be a Packer. I'm not going to lie. Like, this trade surprised me because we're not used to seeing players of this caliber, this young, get traded, especially to other teams that are contenders. Because when Khalil Mack got traded from Oakland to Chicago wasn't really a good team. Like, the Packers had Super Bowl expectations without Michael, and I feel like with this trade, their expectations is through the roof. I don't know what Dallas was thinking because I just don't see it. I don't feel like they got better defensively with this trade. I know some people don't like the contract. They don't like the fact that he's getting paid $47 million a year. They don't like the fact the contract's for $188 million. But at the end of the day, he's a top 5 pass rusher in the league. Like, if TJ Watt is getting $41, $42 million, for you to pay him an extra $5, $6 million a year when he's 5 to 6 years younger, I don't see the issue with that. So I like this for the Packers. I feel like the Packers easily win this trade. We'll know in 4 years if Dallas won this trade, if they hit on the first-round picks. But it's going to be hard to tell because that's going to be 4 years from now. Kenny Clark, I think, is 30 years old. And I just feel like Dallas is in a win-now mode, and this didn't help them.
Yeah, I think we know who won this trade, who came out on the better end. The Packers, obviously. They're getting better defensively. Wasn't it like future picks?
Yeah, 2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks.
So the next 2 years, I want to say.
So, they're looking future forward, and at the same time, man, like, with this back injury, they knew he had a back injury before, so it's like, is it going to affect him in the next 2-3 games? So we'll see how that goes, but I think overall, Dallas fucked up with that one.
Yeah, I'm surprised that the back injury was real. We all thought it was just
him just playing.
Yeah, and because he was cleared by Dallas doctors, but then he was going to get a second opinion. So the back, he still got a problem with his back. I thought he was just playing so he didn't have to practice. But so they talking about he might have to take an epidural to play.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
This week. So I'm like, what? So now
I'm just curious. Like, what did you do in the offseason to hurt your back?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like,
because it's not like they made the playoffs.
Yeah. Cause that sounds like something serious. So I'm like, oh no. They paid him all that money, and he could be like, oh, my back, my back. I guess his back hurt from carrying all that money.
Yeah, probably so, man, because that contract was for a defensive player, that was a wealthy contract. And talking to a former teammate of Micah's, so Daron Bland signed for $92 million, $50 million guaranteed. I'm not gonna lie. If I was Dallas, man, I would have kept Micah and got rid of this nigga. Like, because Daron Bland is a decent corner. He's not a bad corner. Like, I'm gonna be honest, because you already paid Trayvon Diggs all that money, even though I don't think he's a good corner. You know, now you're paying him, who I feel like if you pay Trayvon Diggs, you got to pay Bland, because I think Bland is the better corner out of the two. But you're paying inferior players when you have someone like Micah. I just feel like it's just kind of weird for you to drop this contract after less than a week after trading Micah. Like, yeah, that's just kind of weird, because I don't even know if, I'm gonna be honest, how many teams do you think would have gave him this contract? Like, I didn't even know he was even eligible. When I saw this contract, I was shocked that this was even on the table for him. Like, $92 million, that's a lot of money for a corner, especially a corner that I don't feel like is on the level of a Patrick Surtain or a Sauce Gardner. Like, I definitely don't feel like Bland is on the level of them corners.
Yeah, so but that was Michael's money. You know what I'm saying? So they had a little money that left off. So hey, we're gonna pay somebody.
Michael's money.
We're gonna pay somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Gotta keep somebody in the home field.
Because he probably wouldn't have got that deal if they would have paid Micah.
He would have got traded.
Yeah. So,
hey man, going from the NFC to the AFC. So we did the NFC breakdown last week. Now we're going to do the AFC breakdown. So, C's, what are the teams you expect to win the divisions, make the playoffs?
Bills, AFC East, Bills, AFC North, Ravens. That's actually probably going to be the most
competitive division in your opinion?
I would probably say it usually is. And it's like, the Browns are trash to me, but they got some tools to work with, and the Bengals the same thing. Hoping the Steelers, we'll see. I hope they do some shit. AFC South, man, I'm actually gonna go with the Jaguars.
Oh shit, nigga. Okay, then. So you believe in the Prince?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then AFC West, man. I'm gonna stick with the Chiefs, man. I think they're gonna win it out.
The way you paused, bro, I just felt like in my heart you was gonna say a team besides the Chiefs.
Nah, it was Chiefs, and then right on their ass is gonna be the Chargers, man.
So the Chargers making the wild card. So what's your other two wild card teams?
Give me the Dolphins.
And I'm assuming you're gonna have one team from the AFC North.
I hate to say this. Give me the Bengals.
Bengals. I feel like the divisions pretty much are going to be at least three of the divisions. I feel like it's Bills, Chiefs, and Texans. I feel like the only division that's really up for grabs is the AFC North because you just never know what's going to happen with the Bengals and the Ravens. But I'm going to go with the Ravens because I feel like the Bengals defense is still not where it needs to be. And then when it comes to the wild card, I got the Chargers because I feel like it's just going to be hard to not see them make the playoffs. Because there was teams I was trying to think of, and it was like, nah, it's probably going to be in the Chargers. And then it was like, I just can't see Joe Burrow missing the playoffs 2 years in a row. Especially, that defense would have to be as bad as it was last year, and it was historically bad last year. So I can't see it being that bad again. So I'm going to go Bengals. And it's funny that you had this team win a division, because I decided to, instead of give that last spot to the Dolphins or maybe the Steelers, I say I'm going to go with the Jags for the last wild card spot, man. I really like what they got going on in Jacksonville. If Trevor Lawrence can stay healthy and play to the ability that we think he'll have, you got Brian Thomas Jr. at receiver. You drafted Travis Hunter to play a little bit of receiver. They got two nice young running backs. Hopefully they can get the running game going. The defense really wasn't that bad last year, and hopefully Travis can play defense a little bit this year like he wants to and maybe make a couple of splash impact plays.
Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with y'all with the Bills for the AFC East. The North, I'm going with the Ravens. I think the South is going to be more competitive. I think But I think all four of those teams are going to. They're gonna be probably. It's gonna come down to the last couple of weeks who's going to pull out because I see them. But the best team out of that team that division, I'm gonna say the Texans. And then the Chiefs in the West. I got the Broncos making the playoffs with the wild card, and I got the Steelers making it, and it's kind of tossed up from the Bengals and the Chargers, but I think it's probably going to be the Chargers are going to make it this year too. I think the Bengals probably going to miss out again.
Miss out again.
Yeah.
So I know we did the MVPs of the NFC. So my MVPs of the AFC, and it's crazy because I only had one quarterback, and I don't have nothing but quarterbacks for the AFC, and it's Lamar, Burrow, and Mahomes. I feel like Lamar, this is, he lost his MVP. It's going to be like when Jokic didn't win his MVP. Hey, give my MVP back. With Burrow, for them to make the playoffs, he got to play as well as he did last year, if not better. And I ain't going to lie, Burrow played some of the best quarterback play that we've seen in a while last year. And then with Mahomes, man, I feel like that light show coming back this year, man. I feel like that light show coming back, man. Like, with a healthy roster, especially when Rashee Rice comes back week 6, man. Like, I feel like we're going to see that Mahomes that threw for 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. I'm not saying he's going to have those numbers, but I'm saying we're going to see plays like we was used to seeing not the last 2 years. As far as, like, defensive players to watch out for, I feel like if the Raiders are going to do anything, Max Crosby got to pretty much have a season like Trey Henderson had last year. He got to be, if not leading the league in sacks, but up there. Pat Surtain, I feel like he's probably one of the best defense players in the whole league, period, regardless of position. So I feel like he's someone that you gotta be mindful of. And then, man, TJ Watt. If the Steelers are going to compete and make the playoffs, TJ Watt got to get back to being TJ Watt, man. And I'm not saying he hasn't been good the last couple of years, but he got to get back to the form when he won Defense Player of the Year, man. So those are like the 3 players I'll be looking out for.
So I like Pat Mahomes and I like Lamar, and I also like Josh Allen. And defense, I'm gonna go, T.J. Watt and Miles for the Browns.
That's a good one. Miles Garrett is a good one.
So, and then I think that's all I got for the defense. But definitely Miles Garrett and T.J. Watt.
I think we all pretty much agree as far as the AFC. I think Henderson's going to be worth the money in the long run. As far as QBs, I think Josh Allen's going to have another big year. If they need any assistance from the defense, they obviously that'll boost. So I mean, usual suspects, man. I'm not seeing any breakout names or anything like that. Any sleepers you got?
So moving on to the season predictions, man. Like I'll be honest, man. Like
I'm talking players.
Just players for like MVP or something.
Anything. Just breakout year.
Breakout year, man. I feel like this could be a year for Jordan Love to hit that top 5 scene, man. Like I could see him putting the numbers where he's in that top 5 quarterback argument, man. So Jordan Love is someone I feel like you could keep an eye out for, man. But as far as sleepers, though, I mean, let's move on to the season predictions, man, because the season starts Thursday. Who y'all got going to the Super Bowl, y'all?
I got Baltimore against Detroit.
I got half of that, man. I got Baltimore, and I was really trying to find a team to knock off the Eagles, and it's just so hard to find a team that I think can fuck with them. So I just got an all-bird Super Bowl, Ravens and Eagles.
That'd be nice. That sounds a little bit too much like
too
much fun right there, though.
They don't want to give us another black on black Super Bowl. The last black on black Super Bowl party we had, we went a little crazy.
So, can they run back? Eagles definitely going back. AFC, man. If not the Ravens, the Bills.
So I will say this: I do have a sleeper team to make the Super Bowl. And my two sleeper teams would be out of the NFC would be the Falcons. I feel like if Micah Parsons Jr. can put it all together and have an amazing season, there's enough talent there. But in the AFC, man, it just depends on this one person, man. If he can play like he did a couple, like 3-4 years ago, I'll take the Steelers, man. If we can see the old Aaron Rodgers. The last year he was in Green Bay won the MVP. If we can see a semblance of that player with the fact that they got DK Metcalf, the fact that I know that defense is going to be top 5, I can see them getting to the Super Bowl. Like that, those would be my two sleeper teams. Y'all got any sleeper teams?
Well, I guess the Chiefs, they're not really a sleeper, but I don't have them going to the Super Bowl. So I will. And if Michael's back is okay from carrying all that money, Green Bay.
So one last thing before we end off the season predictions, man. We've already pretty much discussed who we think the MVPs and defensive player years are. We did it by conference, but you can pretty much get who we feel like for the league. And in terms of the rookies, what's the rookies that you're most looking forward to see this year, and who do you think can win that Rookie of the Year?
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking for the offense. Well, for offense and defense. I'm just playing.
Hey, wouldn't that be something if he was the first rookie to win it for offense and defense?
I think Abdul's going to do really well.
I like him for defense, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about picking someone for defense, but I'm not even gonna lie, man. I got 2 plays and they both offense. Genty, because we know it's easy for running backs to get it. If he gets like the ball 20 times a game, rush for over 1,000 yards, gets 10 touchdowns, especially if the Raiders are competitive, I feel like he'll get votes. But I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm really, really liking Matthew Golden, man, with the Packers, man, because he's big, he's strong, he can catch. If he can get the ball in that offense, especially the last 2 years, we've seen what rookie wide receivers have done. Coming into the league, if he can perform at the level of the rookie wide receivers we've seen, if I was to comp him, he's not as physically gifted and talented as Malik Neighbors, but he's in this type of situation where like Ladd McConkey was in. So it's like he's more talented than Ladd McConkey, and he's in a better situation than Malik Neighbors. So I feel like he can put up some numbers as a rookie wide receiver that can edge him out. Hey, last thing, y'all looking for the NFL season, man?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's about time. I'm ready. Thursday night, it's coming up. 2 more days, countdown.
Final thoughts, y'all?
Shout out to the black women killing it in the U.S. Open, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to Dirty E, man. They had their last pay-per-view with the Peacock Network in Paris at, Clash in Paris. So it was a great pay-per-view. John Cena had his last match overseas, most likely, man. And it was, definitely check it out. Shout out to Peacock, man. Shout out to the mama.
Got him. Mr. DJ Rose, Verteezy, and C's, welcome you to the No More Black Tears podcast.
Black tears that's heaven sent. Barack the first black president. I love my black skin. I love walking in black excellence. Black power, let's represent. All black, that's evident. I'm sure MLK and Malcolm X both didn't die for the hell of it. Strap a seatbelt, go and settle land. What makes you think that we would sell our land? We wouldn't sell out now. What makes you think that we would go ahead and try to sell out then? No more black tears, black on black kids. Love us as is, love with passion. Paying black bills, learning black skills, making black meals. Black is backing. Big shout out to Fred Hampton. I'm black and proud like I'm James Brown, but I ain't doing no acting. My people here from the motherland. This podcast now active.